Well, hello everybody. It's about an hour before dusk. We've got us a very beautiful spot to film here from today. Today's video is a response to an open tag put out by Tobias. Tobias seems to have a problem, but at least he acknowledges his problem. And, admitting that you have a problem is the first step to recovery. His problem is he can't stop himself from buying a certain kind of junk knives. And he wanted to know, does anyone else out here have a problem with junk knives? Well, I certainly do. So here in a minute, I'm going to show you some of my junk knives. After the knife review, I'll tell you a little bit more about the spot where we're at. So my two categories of knives that I buy that others might consider to be junk. The first category is vintage knives that I get in antique shops. And the second category are knives that, well, they're just poorly made. They're brand new, but I just can't help myself from buying. So first knife up on the list under the vintage knives category is this knife here. This is an IXL. IXL, Sheffield, England. And as you can see, look at that blade. Wow, somebody has really used this knife. And it appears to be a pretty old knife. And folks, I can't tell if I'm focusing or not. I hope so. But both of the blades are very sharp and pointy. That one's actually broke off. So it looks to be an equal end cattle knife. There's the file. At one time this was a gorgeous knife and somebody used it and used it and used it. But you see, I find delight in these knives because I love the history behind them. I like learning about them. And I wonder, what did that man use that knife for, and why was it such a beloved knife that he used it and sharpened it down almost to a needle? The next one here I have, this is a Cataracus Cutlery, and it is old. I'm not sure of the handle material, but it looks like ebony, and I know they used ebony. But here's another example of a jackknife that somebody absolutely loved. They used it and used it. And you can just barely make out the tang stamp on it. I'd like to learn more about this knife, about when it was made, but it's going to be kind of hard. And last, I have this toothpick. Now this toothpick came in a knife lot, and the blade is just no good on it. It's been sharpened way down, the blade's pitted. It just will not be usable. The covers were no good. Another reason why I get these old things, I toyed around with this and played with it and made some wood covers here. Not the best job, but it was fun to do, and just had fun trying to learn how to do it. But this frame is great. Look at this toothpick frame. Just gorgeous. Someday maybe I can find someone to make me a new blade for it. Okay, next up is this Buck Protege. It's Buck Model 450. And I bought this because it's got a really nice handle to it. But again, you can tell somebody really used this blade. They cut it off and made a tanto out of it. But as a buck collector, I get something like this. I can look at it, see if I like it, hold it, and then if I want to invest the money in buying a much nicer one, I will. Okay, now onto those knives that I just can't pass up. I don't know why I buy them. They're spur of the moment, but everyone knows I love my small fixed blade knives. So here, check this one out. It's a Survivor. Yeah. Yeah, but don't worry. It reads on the tang here that it was hand forged in China and it was designed in the US. So we got us a legitimate hand forged knife here. Yeah, I can't help myself. Another one is I got this Ruku neck knife. It's the first neck knife I ever bought. It's a cheapie. I wouldn't trust my life with it. Why did I buy it? I don't know. At the time it looked cool and it was an impulse and I just couldn't help myself. And last on the list here, well, my good old Ozark Trail. And this actually isn't too bad of a knife, although I don't know what the blade steel is and all this and that. But it was a $4 knife, $5 knife. Fit and finish is terrible on it. They don't, you know, scales don't line up or match up there or anything. It's not a bad knife. I mean, it's not bad ergonomics and all this and that, but it's not a buck knife. So anyway, I hope you've enjoyed my junk knives here. And like I said, I'm going to change locations and tell you a little bit about where we're at. Well, I kind of moved on top of this valley here, and the wind's picked up here. Several hundred yards off in the distance there, you can see some deer down grazing. But this is a valley, and it's called a fen, F-E-N. And a fen is a wetland area that produces peat. And it takes a long time to develop, and if it gets destroyed, why, it takes a long time to get it back. Just a little more footage here. This is a really gorgeous valley. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this video, and everybody have a very delightful day.